Today I'm going to show you how to do a basic men's haircut.
Yes, on me.
My husband was nice enough to volunteer to let me show you, so that was nice. So here we go. Okay, so usually when I do a men's haircut, I like to start around the sides of the hair and then work my way up.
Another pro tip, make sure that your cords are extra tangled.
I'm going to be using my Oster Classic 76 clippers. These ones are pretty nice. If you're doing this and you're not a hairdresser, chances are you probably have a wall. Those are also pretty good. I used that when I was first starting out. So, but yeah, so today I'm going to use these. They're all basically going to be the same. Today I'm going to show you how to do a just basic fade. I'm going to start on him. I have a size 0 that I'm going to start with. And usually you can start from any size. So if, like, say your client liked the size a little bit longer, you can always start at a 2 and work your way up. So this just is the same basic outline, but I'm going to start with a 0 and show you how to do it with the smaller clippers. The lower the number on the clippers means the smaller the size. 0, for example, starts at a 1/16 of an inch and then gets bigger as we move up. So I'll show you. So I'm going to go make sure that this flat part is parallel with his head as we go up. And then as I go up to about where I want this, I'm going to kind of flick it out like this. So as we go around, you're going to kind of see I have this kind of motion going out like this. And that just makes it so when I use the next blade size, it'll cut more smoothly and have a better transition. One more thing I'm going to add is you can go as high or as low as you want with these numbers. So if you want it up high and tight, you can bring a 1 or a 0 all the way up to here if you want. And if you don't, then you can also kind of just bring it down here and do kind of a more of a subtle fade. So I also kind of like to angle it just a little bit, so I'll kind of leave this going up this way and kind of leave this a little bit lower towards the back. So here we go.
That was beautiful.
Thank you. Okay, now that I finished that, I'm going to put on my one blade and do the same thing, but this time we're only going to go up just a little bit higher. Okay, next I'm going to put the 2 on. Something else I'm going to add is I usually go up to about a 3 is where I end it with the clippers, and then I'll use my fingers to scissor cut it. And the reason why I do a 3 is because that's about where my fingers can grab, where I can grab the hair and still cut it. I kind of have thicker fingers, so you might be able to do a 2. It's not funny. I have kind of bigger hands. So some people might be able to do a 2 and be able to start from there, but like I said, a 3 is usually about a good spot to do the scissor cut, so yeah. I'm going to move up to 3. So something I did there, that you might have seen is I did it kind of sideways. That's called cross-checking. So sometimes you get the little hairs that kind of poke up, and if you cut the opposite direction, it kind of gets those extra little ones. So if you ever notice you're cutting and there's like some that are kind of still poking out, just go ahead and do it horizontally and you'll be able to get those. Now that I'm done with that, I've got it right about here is where I stopped cutting. I'm going to go around now and I'm going to start cutting with the scissors. Just going to get a little wet. But from where I left off, I'm going to take the hair up like this. And you can see where I cut last. It's short right here, and I'm just going to cut straight, a straight vertical line from that point. And like I said, if your fingers are bigger than mine, you might have to use a size up, or if they're smaller than mine, then you can do a size down. But a 3 is about where I usually stop. So I'm just going to go around, like I said, this section right here. Cut a straight line. So you can see I'm just going to go through right here, cut this. Okay, so as you can see here, he likes to part his hair over, which is a really popular style right now, but if for some reason he just wanted all of his hair to lay flat, or he just kind of spiked it up in the middle, you're still basically going to be doing the same thing on both sides. It's just this side has a part, where this side you're going to be blending it with the longer side. So, but same thing, we still blended it on both sides. So the next step in a men's haircut is I'm going to bring everything to the middle on top, and this is so that way I can make sure this is cut evenly all throughout the top. So I'm going to find my guide back here where I cut it last, and I'm just going to take that right straight down the middle and cut that all to match it. Now, what we just cut, this becomes your new guide. So now I'm going to take sections perpendicular to this guide down the middle, and I'm just going to make sure it's cut a straight line across. So this way it's even on both sides, and you'll be able to hold the hair on both sides and it'll be even. Your fingers in front of it. Okay, and again, I'm going to cross-check the top to make sure that all the hairs are the same length, and the best way to do that is, since we went down this way and then down this way, now we're going to go through diagonally and just make sure there's not any spots that are poking up. has thinner hair. Sad day, but that is why we usually do it a little bit shorter on top, just so that way it seems a little bit more fuller, because the longer it gets, the wispier it will get. But he's still really cute. We still love him. So, now that we've done that, usually if the hair is a little bit thicker, sometimes I'll take and go through with my thinning shears and thin it out a little bit on top and on the sides, where this part always seems to grow the fastest, so I'll kind of thin this whole edge out. So, kind of like what I said before though, you can do any size length. You can do it longer on top, longer on the sides. But this is a very good, just basic steps on how to cut most men's hair. Okay, when you're done, I like to take this little guy. This will be the best investment you will ever make. It is called the Peanut. And he's just really great to clean up all of the edges of the hair and make them look really clean. So we're just going to go through and do that real fast. I want to share a little tip I have with this guy. Usually I will turn it around facing this way to get the edges, and I'll just kind of tap around to cut them, and then just to get bigger surfaces like this, I'll flip it back around and cut it this way. More tips that I want to add while cutting the hair. First off, ears. They get in the way. They're big. So it is okay to move them around while you're cutting, so that way you don't cut the ear. The other thing too is while you're cutting, you don't want to go too far up off the ear, so kind of just follow their hairline the best you can. His hair is a little thinner, and we did cut it a little bit shorter, so I just want to add with other hairs. with most haircuts, what you're going to do is you're going to brush this all forward, and you're going to just kind of cut across to make sure that this is all even after you go through and do your cross check, and kind of cut it to where you want it. Some people like it up higher, some like it lower, so just kind of see where that needs to go. But even if they brush it to the side, you still, if it's for some reason falling forward, you want to make sure that it is all in a straight line, so in the front, in case it ever moves. So make sure you do that. Okay, so as you can see, the Peanut worked really well and cleaned up and gave us some really nice lines. So looks good. Looking handsome. Did a good job. Thanks, David, for being our model today. So great. If you have any questions, please leave it down in the comments below, and go ahead and check out my other videos.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
Do that too. That'd be great. Bye.
Bye.